This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
KD off and running. So Xavier Brooks. Galloway, look out! Good luck trying to stop this man when he is in this frame of mind. Here's Whittler on the move. Here he is, the veteran. Oh, they're going to love that. Doolittle again. And now Doolittle steps back. That's what I'm talking about, Joey.
The Hungry Jacks NBL continues in Sydney with a huge matchup between the Kings and Perth Wildcats. It's going to be a jam-packed Kudos Bank Arena. The fans are hoping their team can flex their muscles and make it 10 straight. But the Wildcats have also been on a roll. Can they stop Kendrick Davis? That man on your screen, Christian Doolittle, is certainly hoping so. Taking a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, it is second versus fourth. Both of these teams still desperate to continue winning on the road to the finals. I'm Joe Healy alongside Brad Rosen and Jace Kadee. Guys, we are in for an absolute treat today.
Cannot wait, Joe. Listen to this crowd. The third level's open. It is absolutely massive here. You can't even hear yourself think. But tonight, this is huge. Perth need to do this. They want to consolidate fourth, potentially get up to third, which we doubt. But the Sydney Kings, it's a simple scenario. You win both games that they've got less, they finish top.
Everything Brad said is spot on, and I don't want to get too early, but this is a finals atmosphere. You can feel it in the crowd and the two teams on the floor. Even though positions are still being juggled up, they just want to take care of business and win.
The energy is absolutely electric here in Kudos Bank Arena. We're going to take a look at the road to the finals now. The fact that the earlier game, United had that loss to the Hawks, that really does help the Wildcats.
It does, and this is where you look at the way it is. You can see the Wildcats, they want to be able to get that fourth spot, so then at least they can get a second bite to the cherry. Yes, they may have to be on the road, they don't care. But then you look at those 1-2s, Jace, that's important.
It's massive. Home court advantage for this final series will play a part, because you look at the teams that are fighting it out, they all have their ability to win. So if you're a home team and you're in those spots right now, you just want to keep them.
So this is really interesting, guys. Since round 15, if you go back and look at the numbers, these two teams are first and second on the ladder. Who is winning? Because they are both the informed teams, they're rolling.
Can you get anything better on a Sunday afternoon at 4:30 than what we're looking at right there? The only game Perth lost was against Melbourne by 1. Sydney, they've been rolling. These two teams are coming in here with absolute form, and more importantly, they want to keep that going. Forget ladders, forget everything else. You want to be the absolute best you can going into the finals.
This is the favourite time of the season for a lot of players, and no doubt tonight, as both teams walk in, they will be absolutely fired up, and that's why I think it's going to be a barn burner of a game.
We mentioned these two superstars off the top, Kendrick Davis and Christian Doolittle. Cannot wait to see this matchup. JR got us excited for it after their last game on Friday as well. Here's what he had to say.
What I'm really looking forward to is they have a player that there's a lot of speculation around being an MVP. I have a guy in that change room that I think is pretty good defensively. So let's go and see what happens. Straight one-on-one. I know Davis is from Houston, so maybe like little one-on-one like Doo said the other week, black top, and let's just see.
Keep it simple, a straight one-on-one matchup. Can't wait to see this, guys.
Well, this is great. When you look at it, you'd think, why would Doolittle be guarding that guy? But I don't mind it. He's a very good defender, and he'll give them some length. I don't know whether he'll start. I don't know how many minutes he'll play on him in the defense, but I do like this matchup. It'll be great. And don't you just love an angry John Rillie, Jace? It's awesome.
I actually think JR's playing smart. Let's talk about Kendrick one-on-one. Can we take him to a place where Sydney haven't been doing a lot of? And for him, he's got weapons. Doolittle, Duke Jr., Sunday Detch. He's got guys who can go to him, and I'm excited to see where they start on.
I did speak to Christian Doolittle before the game. He did say he's going to start on KD. Last time these two teams played, though, KD had 38 points and 8 assists. He's going to be tough to stop.
Well, it's how they handle the on-ball. See how they drop there on the on-ball, and KD's just able to lift. Then what happens is you start to creep up because he's shooting the 3-ball. They've got to try something different. They have to slow him down and, more importantly, shorten the court if you can do it by your defense.
Everything he said is spot on. Keep in the half court, keep it reduced, and see if you can just take away his space. And if you can do that, you give yourself a better chance.
So both of these players incredibly important to their teams. KD, as we know, and another KD in Christian Doolittle. I spoke to him before the game, though, and he also said that David Duke Jr. just brings a bunch of energy. This is obviously his second game back from that injury, but he's likely to see KD out there as well for some time. Yeah,
I think he is. He's an athletic point guard, and he loves it when it's broken down. That's where I find him to be really good. So if they can get some offensive rebounds and kick it out to him, if he can get that three-ball stroking, it'll really help Perth.
Yeah, it's great for them to have their full lineup at their disposal because they want to build on that. And so he's someone we saw go to Bryce Cotton, and I think we'll see him for long stints tonight on KD.
Well, this place is absolutely buzzing. It's almost time for the tip. It's a pleasure to hand you over to Matty Russell for the call.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. We're looking forward to this one. You've set the scene magnificently. And when it comes to the starting five, Sydney unchanged from Friday night against Sydney or against Illawarra. 120-94. A 26-point win to the Hawks, to the Kings against the Hawks. And when it comes to the starting five for Perth, yes, there is a big difference. Lat Mayen into the starting five. Dylan Windler to come off the bench. That's Lat's first start of the season. He scored 3 points in each of his 2 games against the Kings this season. So Sydney on a 9-game winning streak. Perth having won 9 of their last 10. This is a heavyweight way to wrap up round 21 of Hungry Jack's NBL, the second last round of the regular season. And the first possession will go with the Wildcats. Off a win against Brisbane, both these teams in action Friday night. And first up, it's a turnover from the visiting team. They'll need to be much better than that against a McQuatch, Malawatch, Sydney Kings side that is humming right now.
And they're humming when they can get out and run, Brad. Whenever they can get out and run, they're just so efficient and so effective as JLA scores their first basket. But this is a space where if you're playing Sydney, you need to try and reduce turnovers and reduce bad shots.
Well, we're seeing here Pepper pick up the ball. So it's how they handle the on-ball that's going to be a key. The drops is an interesting one, and he's been dynamite in that short game, so he'll go to the free throw. That's going to be huge for them all night.
Joe touched on Kendrick Davis and his great form against Perth this season. You could say just great form this season, but against Perth, his 2 returns have been 38 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. That's the last time he played the Wildcats. Before that, 25 points, 6 boards, the 1 dime. So the points have been flowing not just against the Wildcats. He's been to 20+ in his last 8. In those 8 games, he's averaged 27 points per outing. So today, against Christian Doolittle and co, what does Kendrick have for us? It must be said on Friday, at times, it looked like he was playing with his eyes shut against Illawarra and still getting it done. More than 20 points in barely half a game, 9 assists against the Hawks. It's a nice first touch from Dante Russo-Nance. Malawatch again attracts the whistle, so McQuatch Malawatch off to the line. The man who's stepped up so impressively in the absence of Bull Qual, we've spoken often about that man. McQuatch Malawatch and the role, the increased role he has enjoyed for Brian Goorjian, now averaging 7.5 points per game at 46%, 3 rebounds, an assist.
Well, it's also the 20 minutes a game, Matty. And, you know, Gorge speaks about it a lot. It's not just the fact that they can put him in the game now, just to be able to help starters get a rest. He's making a huge difference. Yes, he's starting now, but he wasn't at the beginning of the year. And they're very comfortable. But he's taken over that defensive role. And you look at here on Doolittle, he's up, he's in. You can just see a lot of Bull Qual with the way that he's defending, so he's learned a lot.
Elijah Pepper off a big game on Friday against the Bullets. Couldn't make it go, but Joe Lawal-Achul could. They go back to Malawatch here just to finish the chat about McQuatch. Since New Year, he's had double figures in 8 of his 10 games. And that's only part of the contribution he's been playing. There's Lawal-Achul Jr. with a block on Xavier Cooks. And it will stay with Sydney. Just underline what a barn burner this looms as. Yes, Sydney on a 9-game winning streak. Perth, 9 of their last 10. Sydney have scored 100 points plus in their last 6 games, averaging 112 per outing in that stretch. Whereas Perth have conceded fewer than 100 in their last 14. So high-octane offense against some D that's been working for the Wildcats. They're in form. They're the best teams in the comp since round 15, and they can even give us a wedgie.
Well, we just listened to John Riley before there. I love that composure of him. He said, if we're going to be giving Kendrick the soft spots down there in his world with the bumps and everything, then we want it down this end. That was good D by Tim Suarez just to leave himself up there. Obviously, the jump ball means the Kings get it as Perth got possession from the start. Good coaching from John Riley.
Who will make the best start on Friday night against Illawarra? The Kings hit their first 10 shots. Xavier Cooks was part of that. There's a miss. Whereas the Wildcats, they led Brisbane 18 too early. They put the game to bed before it had even woken up, seemingly. Here's Lat Mayen, the man rewarded with a start today. First in the season, can't get that one to go. What's John Riley's thinking on that front with Dylan Windler moved back to the Pine?
Yeah, I was looking at it when they came out, and it's an interesting way. Malowach does exactly what you said, Matty, and just keeps performing outstanding to start this game. But it's an interesting lineup that Johnny's gone with, whether he just wants to do something a little bit different. Obviously, that stage where he's still trying to get the best out of everyone in a big game, but it's definitely interesting considering Windler plays such a massive part in how good they are.
Absolutely, he's been a great barometer to Perth's success, Dylan Windler. And Russo Nance, a couple of nice buckets early in the first. Goes to 5 points on 100% shooting. Kendrick Davis able to create an open look. You can't give him that. All those results will follow.
Yeah, and that's the one we were speaking about in the tip-off there with Joe. He just comes off that screen, and if you're going to sag back or drops, whatever you want to go, as Doolittle goes hard and will get the foul, he's going to have 38 on you again, Jace. He's just too good of a shooter. You cannot drop off that.
Especially when it's just so open, like you're saying, Brad. He's a guy who gets a feel early. It can be dangerous. And especially from three, that's an area earlier in the year he was a bit slower with, but it's slowly come on. So you don't want to give him clean looks where he can really measure it up. You'd rather that be over hands, traffic.
And don't think it's an accident for everyone watching as well. That's the Sydney Kings targeting JLA right now. They will do, whoever's guarding JLA or they know there's a switch, they will put KD on and on board whoever JLA's got, because then he's got to make a decision, which then now reverts back onto the coaching staff. That man right there, do I leave him out there? Do I have to get a smaller guy in to try and double? So it's a very, very big chess game between the coaches.
Doolittle makes both. Kendrick Davis from Houston, Christian Doolittle, Oklahoma, and John Riley, in building the game up so well, said, let's play a little one-on-one. Houston against Oklahoma, Davis against Doolittle. And it is a marquee matchup in this one. Jalen Galloway leaves it off the mark. Strong from Malowach. Davis again, that one short. Galloway, another O-board, and Sydney just can't finish. Another offensive rebound with an and one. They just stayed at it and got it done.
They're the extra plays you need in games like this. Guys who are going to go at Malowach, Jalen, going to the boards, getting extra possessions. And now on the Amy replay, as you see those extra ones, you miss some easy ones that normally you'd make, but you stay with it, and then you get rewarded for your effort by getting an and one here and going to the line.
Andy makes it the three-point play. Jace, Brad Rosen, I assume you've both got Kendrick and Christian as all NBL locks.
Oh, absolutely. First team for me. I think they've been tremendous all year. And Doolittle's the barometer for this Perth team. When he goes, they go.
So an all NBL matchup in this one. As we showed you pre-game, the top two teams since round 15, the Wildcats won, the Kings 2. Duke Jr., second game back from that elbow injury. He returned against Brisbane with a tidy performance, not overplaying his hands. There's an air ball.
Well, you can see what it means for both teams. They're crashing offensive glass. Perth's got 4 already to Sydney's 3. But you just know every possession. And I don't mind that from Duke Jr. He's been out for a while, Jace. Wasn't obviously really pushed in the last game they played. So this is a good test for him to come in a playoff-type atmosphere game to get him going.
So no Dylan Windler this afternoon because of a heel injury. So Joe Luala-Chul says, I've got your back. And then Pepper leaves it short. So that's a significant blow for the Wildcats. Windler out, heel injury. And the Kings leave a couple of points out there last few possessions. Duke Jr. gets it to go. Fresh from his 9 points, 3 of 7, including 1 from outside in his return game against the Bullets. That's his, well, that was his first since late December. He's feeling it right now, McQuatch Malawatch. Racing to 9 points. His second triple and 3 of 4 from the field. Doolittle fighting to keep the ball. The turnaround jumper finds the bottom of the net.
And this right now, as Johnny's about to give, I think his team an almighty spray.
Well, the team and the refs as well. He's filthy that the foul wasn't called down the other end, but you're right, defensive transition, you can't be giving those up.
And they're doing it off the back of makes. That's the part as well of, you know how Sydney plays, and right now they're just giving them stuff in transition rather than let's get back and see what we can make them have to do in the half court. And to your point before, Matty, Malawatch has come out and he's on fire just from that, simple decisions.
You're both right. We saw the Perth coach, John, really want to speak to his team, but also the referees, Brad Rosen, and he made his point when it comes to his star player and a match-up with Kendrick Davis. We've spoken about it. What about it we hear from the Wildcat?
JR's gone into bat for you from a defensive point of view, said he's looking forward to seeing you and KD go one-on-one today. Do you think you'll go to him at all, show him a little length?
I'll be starting on him, but you know, it's preparing us for a championship. I mean, it won't be a time where I won't be guarding other teams' best players, so this is just a test to see where we're at.
They've obviously had 2 big wins against you this season. Have you gone back and looked at tape, and what have you learned from those games?
You know, we looked at them, but at the same time, we kind of flushed it just because of how we lost and understanding that I feel like we're a different team than where we are at the beginning of the year. So we're playing good right now. We're just trying to find ways to keep that momentum going.
Christian Doolittle, in his game so far this season, he has been outstanding. 7 double-doubles. His last 3 games, 28 points, 32 points, 26 points. And yeah, he's looking forward to not necessarily just his offensive contribution, but the role he can offer today against Kendrick Davis. Suarez misses the extra one, and Joe, you've been listening into John Riley in that timeout.
Yeah, very intense John Riley in that last huddle. He said, guys, we need to focus on our offense to defense. We've got to be better in D-trans. He said he's happy with the fight that they're showing, but they need to be a little smarter out there.
Dante Russo-Nance is showing the smarts. He's gone to 8 points, 3 of 3 from the field. Quatnoy
Gives him a 2 little stance as well, Quatnoy.
Loves a bit of theatre, Quat. Loves to invite the crowd to get involved. Foul will be called on Kendrick Davis.
Well, I was listening to Brian Goorjian's press conference after the other day, and what was scary is he feels that they really haven't found a mix of where to get Torrey Craig the ball yet. He was just saying that, you know, he's a great player and he just fits in nicely, but we haven't worked out where and when we want to get the ball. So he's got in early today, as Pepper, beautiful pass there, and he'll finish. But I'll be very interested to see how and where they get the ball to Torrey Craig, because he's a dynamite player, we know that.
Aguera on the board for the Wildcats. He believes this man can still be a lot better, amazingly, than he's been in recent weeks as well. Kendrick Davis feeding Quatnoy, who fed the basket. Kings by 2, 3.5 left in the first quarter. David Duke Jr. What a time to get the NBA experienced player back for Perth, and he draws the foul on Quatnoy.
Brad, I'm interested in this because we said it the other night, like Sydney's rotations, yes, they've got a lot of pieces, but the other night it was Jalen Galloway had 8 points in the first 3 or 4 minutes sub, and now Malawatch tonight gets off to a hot start sub. Now, I understand they're deep, and I'm not one to question Gorge and his staff because they're a leader of what they do, but it's an interesting one when a player is feeling good to get rid of him.
This is the final game of round 21. Round 22 starts on Wednesday. Tassie against Illawarra. There are 5 games in the final round. Then, February 22, the Ignite Cup decider. 36ers against the Breakers on the Gold Coast.
Well, what about entree last night with those two? How was that good? That was brilliant. And that'll be a ripper of a game. Can't wait for that. But, Jace, just to get back to you, I completely agree. And they're not the only team that does it. I do find it a little bit frustrating sometimes as Dellavedova misses the 3 there, where it just feels like, right, it's your time. Now we get someone else in rather than whose ball and leave them out there.
Just a bit longer.
Yeah.
You know what? He started well, yes, as Elijah Pepper continues this game. This game has been excellent to start both teams, but just give him another minute and see what he does, just to reward him for how well he started the game.
Pepper's first points of the game. KD forced into a tough shot. Ball jumps away and he gets it back. Fortunate for the Kings, and Dellavedova makes sure they leave with a reward.
These offensive boards are really hurting because it just feels like every one that the Kings have got, and it's only been 4 or 5, but they score on all of them. And it really hurts, but Perth having a good start here to the game. You're right, Jace.
Offensive foul called against the Wildcats. Their only blemish in their last 10 games, a 1-point loss to Melbourne. Otherwise, we'd be talking about Perth having won 10 in a row.
That's an easy call, that one. Can't be moving there.
It'll be Sydney's ball. The Kings improving dramatically on last year's 16 and 13 5th-placed finish. They come in 22-9. They're 10-4 here at home this season at Kudos Bank Arena. There's Tyler Robertson, fresh from an equal season and career high 17 against the Hawks. A sneaky equal career high against the Hawkies on Friday. Continuing to perform when called on by Brian Goorjian. Tyler Robertson. Doolittle. Misses the 3. Cooks grabs the rebound. Torrey Craig fires inaccurately. A little tangled. You can hear the referee shouting, "Let go." Noy and Wagstaff. And Xavier Cooks will be called by the foul at the other end.
Good referee. You'll see it here, and the number one thing was they're both grabbing each other. Here's the foul on Cooks. Yep, you can just see it with the hook there. Good call. And down the other end, Quatnoy and Jesse Wagstaff were in a wrestle, WWF type. And the referee just said, "You're both grabbing each other. Great, let them play 4-on-4. You two stay down there."
You're showing your age a little bit there, Brad.
It was, wasn't it?
It's WWE now.
Duke Jr. bounced past Joe Luala-Chul. A little out of control, but the ball went through Pepper. Back to Duke Jr., who's off the mark. The foul will be called on Sydney, and it's Tim Suarez conceding. So a trip to the stripe for Perth. Despite the fact they're both in the top 4 and in rare form and involved in this heavyweight clash, the Kings have beaten the Wildcats twice this season. Round 5 by 22 on the back of Kendrick and Xavier Cooks and Matt Dellavedova to ruin John Riley's 100th game as a coach. Then by 29 on the back of, again, Kendrick's 38, Quatnoy's 23, including 6 triples. So 2 20-point wins for the Kings against the Perth Wildcats this season, Brian.
Yeah, it's a matter of playing for 40 minutes when you play the Sydney Kings at the moment. And Jace, we spoke about the fact that they make a lot of subs and bringing guys in and out. That's how they play 40 minutes. Yeah. And it doesn't really matter who it is. And when you're giving up second chance and 40-minute games, it's really difficult.
Another offensive clean-up by Sydney. They can't capitalise, but eventually do. Offensive rebounds galore for the Kings, and Xavier Cooks comes away with points. His first of the night. So there's one in it in the final minute of the first quarter. Duke Jr. having a tough start to the night shooting-wise. 1 of 4. He's missed both from outside.
Well, I just saw Christian Doolittle go over to the coach. Just sort of looked, and I didn't see the words, but it was along the lines, well, you may as well take me out. I'm not getting the ball. And I saw not getting the ball. He's getting very frustrated. He feels they're taking some rough shots. John just had a word with him here, but the threes, the offensive rebounds, he's looking very, very frustrated with his team. He wants this win, but he doesn't want to play silly basketball.
Who's going to lead us into the first quarter? The Kings looking for the front on this possession. Torrey Craig. Back to Dellavedova. Delhi guarded by Sunday Detch. Over the top of him, magnificent from the NBA veteran. The championship-winning Cleveland Cavalier, all class under pressure there.
Little things, but great work there from Wagstaff. Held the ball for that couple of seconds longer so they can hopefully get the last shot. And if he gives something for the Kings, it's a three-point Hail Mary. Smart move from the veteran.
Who's going to march their way to the quarter-time huddle with a lead? It's Sunday Detch giving Perth the front again. And with only a second to go, Xavier Cooks can't get the shot away. John Riley's men are in town and they mean business. They have the front by 1 after the first quarter at Kudos Bank Arena.
Back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. Just 1 point separates the Kings and Wildcats. It's Perth leading 29-28 heading into the second quarter. I was listening to Brian Goorjian in the huddle. He said it's our defensive hustle that we need to work on. On ball it's okay, but it's the loose balls, rebounding and effort plays that they need to tighten up.
Okay, we'll watch that hustle, Joe. Thank you. Just a reminder, no Dylan Windler for the Wildcats, out with a heel injury. He was kept to single figures on Friday night, 9 points. And Ben Hinchell not in the lineup either. So two of their star performers not here. A little undermanned, John Riley's men, but they lead by 1 into the first quarter.
I like that by Doolittle, just probe and get to his spot. And Lat's not wrong or right. Like, he tried to cut and make a play when if he stays in the corner, he gets the 3 ball. That's that read you got to kind of make as that wing player. But the thing about Torrey Craig, which you spoke about earlier, I see him as a pickup when you're going after. If you have to play a Bryce Cotton or a Nathan Sobey, you can go guard smaller people and use his length. But you see what Sydney's doing with him here. They're actually putting him on Doolittle, and he can guard above too because of his length. That's a great asset to have as we start to get into these series.
Kendrick Davis pulls up for the 3 ball. Bang, down it goes. Davis up to 7 points on 2 of 5 for the game. Both those made buckets have been 3 balls.
Foul call on Timmy
Luis Suarez. That'll be his second.
I just want to show you this. Watch Russo Nance here. Look how he switches out on Kendrick. Right, so this is a different ploy than what they did in the first quarter. Now, that was a foul, but rather than them just leaving JLA to have to switch or double or drops, it was a switch on the point guard position. See if they do that to try and take the ball out of Kendrick Davis' hands and then leave Dellavedova open.
Pepper the miss, Dellavedova the rebound. Delly trying to turn Russo Nance inside out and lost the ball himself. Travel called on Lat Mayen. Lat Mayen, 100 NBL games under his belt now. And he gets his first start of the season in the absence of Winlet and Henschel this evening. Extra pass from Xavier Cooks, finding Suarez working baseline.
Simple game of basketball, just get the ball to the high post, good things happen, especially with someone like Xavier Cooks that can pass and get to the hoop well from that position.
Mayen shooting in behind Luala Chul. He can't hit. Xavier Cooks, free passage to Duntu. 35-29. The Wildcats yet to score out of the first quarter break. 7-point run to the Kings. Doolittle guarded by Torrey Craig. Doolittle spins and Craig wins that battle.
It's excellent defense, and that was back to my point before. Like, Torrey's just an elite defender, and being able to put him on a bigger guy like Doolittle, he can move his feet, he can match him strength for strength, and then he's got that wingspan to just be able to contest and deter shots.
Played plenty of big playoff games as part of his 538 NBA game career. Torrey Craig. Doolittle spotting Pepper. Over the top of Kendrick Davis, off the window and in. With the foul as well.
He didn't need the help off him then. It looked like he felt, KD felt that he may have been able to get the ball as it was thrown in. And that, you're just going to watch here on the Amy replay as the ball got thrown over. Watch KD just come there, but he didn't need to. Now he's out of position. And yeah, that's in his landing space. You don't want to challenge that. That's a 4-point play.
And after he fouled out on Friday night, or sat with 4 fouls.
Sat the fourth quarter.
He's picked up 2 now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can chance that right now. You need to get him out of the game. You don't want him to pick his third up. Although they just took Dellavedova out, so it's a matter, do they give him another minute or so before they get Delly in, or do they go Sean Bruce?
He's fouled out twice this season, Kendrick, and was on thin ice in the Gong on Friday. By then, the game was as good as done. It exploded with 20-plus points, 9 assists by that point. And now, the turnover from Sydney.
Now, Jace, you played, obviously, with Sunday in Adelaide. Now, this guy's a defender, right?
Yep.
Now, obviously, he played with KP as well, both of you last year. I like that matchup, yeah? That'll be good for them?
I think it is. I'm always mindful when you're defending an ex-teammate that it can sometimes feel like you're at training. Sunday makes a nice backup, but he's someone that has been an elite defender in the league for a number of years. He's a veteran now, and I think just him going to KD, he's a strong body. He can just give him a different look for a different period of time, as they can throw a number of different bodies at him.
Well, the key is don't let him get the ball. There you go. Take it away. That's good.
Here he is in the face of Davis. Sunday Ditch. From Perth to Illawarra to 5 years at Adelaide, now back to the Wildcats, and there's a result for the Kings.
You just got to live with that. That is just pure class.
Good offense always beats good defense, bro.
Elijah Pepper. Pepper now 2 of 6. 5 of his shots have been from outside. Davis finding a rolling Suarez, and then Xavier Cooks, who'll draw the foul, and Zave's off to the line for 2.
Well, they just haven't worked out an answer yet to that on ball that time. Again, they're targeting JLA. Thought they were going to do that switching that we showed you before. They did it a couple of players that seemed to work. But right now, as Torrey Craig takes a seat, didn't he do a good job on? Doolittle, like you said, Jace, it's just they're struggling with that on ball.
Cameron Hoofner out there playing his 8th game of his NBL career, all of them this season. The development player, a 24-year-old. Xavier Cooks at the line. 1 of 2. Kings by 3, middle stage of second quarter. Tight throughout this one. Doolittle too deep with his shot. Suarez stands tall. 4th rebound for Tim. And Davis draws the foul, gets the 2 to go. A possible 3-point play for KD, who's up to 11 points now, 4 of 7.
And that's excellent offense by KD, but it's actually, watch Zave here. He goes and seals again, and KD just goes off his back. That's it's great by Kendrick, because not many people get that, but you see Zave, that little brush screen right there just opens up that lane. And that's what, you can talk about Zave and you can talk about all these different guys, but what Zave brings is different, because he can just do so many different little things like that, which make everyone else better. And they're the kind of reasons why, if you ever talk to people who play alongside Xavier Cooks, they'll say he's one of the best teammates you'll ever have for things like that.
In 6 games against Perth, Kendrick Davis averages 31 points per outing. It's his best return against any NBL opponent. Saves his best for the Wildcats, it seems, and he's up to 11. 5 assists already. And his team out by 5. Did you have a team that you just happened to score more freely against than any other, Jace? Was there one that puts a smile on your face more than any other?
I used to love playing at John Cain Arena. I think it was the arena I just liked, but those rings were really good. But they were 2 tough teams to play against, Southeastern United. I think that court, I just love that court. But sometimes each year to year, even as a group, you just have teams that you like playing against, and things just work for you. And as you said, Matty, you just string together a couple of nice games, they just roll into each other.
What about you, Brad? Did you have a bunny in the league when you were playing?
Not a bunny as a team, but I just love Townsville. Playing up there at the Crocs, just the venue, the atmosphere. I remember when Sammy McKinnon went up there and the whole place just erupted. Derek Rucker was up there. Just loved playing up there.
I've seen your signature behind the bar at the Mad Cow. Speaking of madness, how high is Kendrick Davis going tonight? Up to 14. He's 3 of 4 from outside. Plenty of talk about what Perth would do to stop one of the hot hands in the league, and right now they can't. David Duke Jr. Can he catch fire? Strong rebound, Malawatch.
Well, this defense is just tremendous here from the Sydney Kings. They're not allowing anything easy for Perth, and then this man has it on a string.
Look at that. Ball handling supreme from Kendrick Davis. Is there a bucket at the end of it? There deserved to be. Noy makes sure they keep the ball, and then double dribble called on Quat. That spin move, then to split the defence and then whip the pass across court, Jace. We had a great angle.
Yeah, that's just KD playing. Like
no, it's
that.
not. It's insane. It's what it is.
To him, it's not. To everyone else, it is. Things come naturally to him that they don't to others, and that's just playing with the ball, being able to get to where he needs to, make the right pass.
Man, how does he do that?
All that was lacking was a flame effect off the ball as the pass went cross-court. Doolittle. And that'll be 2 points to Perth.
And they needed that one. I was just about to say, Perth just need to settle here. They haven't had a good look for a little bit. Just get a point, get a score on the board, and then just get back to defending and doing what they need to do.
I think it's a great point, Jace, because you look at the score, and they're only down by 6.
Exactly.
And you feel like it's a 10, 15-point game for the Kings at the moment.
This run, winning 9 of 10, has helped them improve to 20 and 11 on the season. Galloway the miss. And then the foul will be called on Perth, is it? Detch, a hooking foul? Or was it Hunter Goodrick?
I think they've called that on Jesse, Matty.
Right. The veteran, spotted by the referees, the 17-year NBL legend. Hunter Goodrick at the line, enjoying his rookie NBL season. Might be a great first year, depending on what happens in the postseason.
Got a good number on as well, Jace.
Very good number.
Don't forget, Super Coach, go head-to-head with Damon Lowry. If you win, you go in an entry to catch that end-of-season prize, $10,000 it's valued at, split between $5,000 cold hard cash and a $5,000 Choice Hotels voucher. Perth, a little wild as they came up the court, and the shot fits that earlier description.
Well, that's 4 of 17 from the three-point line for Perth right now, compared to 5-11 for the Kings.
Davis feeding Galloway, who found the nets. And at 46-37, the difference is 9. And John really says, I need a tangerine timeout. They trailed by 1 after the first quarter, but the Kings are making the second their own. Watch this pass. Great basketball, Sydney. Out to a handy lead.
And it's good coaching by JR. They needed a timeout. That bucket by Doolittle maybe saved him from having to use it, but they've just lost their way a little bit in terms of scoring in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, we're just looking there at Dr. Seamus Dalton. This man, he started, I remember he was the doctor for the Kings, and there's a reward there. And you'll see number 26. Well, that's how many years he's been with the Sydney Kings. He was a doc back when I was an assistant coach there. He is an absolute outstanding individual of a man. He's got his family here today, and you can see that smile. Gives me goosebumps. Congratulations, Dr. Seamus Dalton. Well deserved.
And he's at a big event today. You know it's a big event when you walk in and the person in front of you is one and only Australian music icon, Delta Goodrem. She's in the Pumped by Reebok influencer seats today. Aussie actress, entertainer, singer-songwriter. I could go on and on. She's enjoying the hoops with the new hubby there, himself a musician, and alongside them, radio host Nath Roy from the Jimmy and Nath Show on the Hit Network. Wonder where the Delta's heading across the road to watch Ed Sheeran later on.
Nah, she's here, mate. Basketball. Who's that Ed Sheeran bloke? She's here to watch the Kings.
Yeah. Ed wanted to come here tonight. We didn't have a ticket for him. So
This is her pre-game.
we said concentrate on your warm-up.
Good pass.
Wagstaff. Jesse's still got a 3-ball.
There's just something about Duke Jr. that I like, Jason. I know it hasn't set the world on fire, but you just know there's going to be a game soon. He's composed. The shot's going to start dropping. It's going to open up everything. And this man, well, he's dropping everything at the moment. But I like him.
These teams head-to-head for the 3rd time this season. 2-0 so far in favour of the Kings. Overall, the Perth dominates 69-47. But on this floor, it's nip and tuck. 12-11 in favour of the Kings. Head-to-head at Kudos against Perth. Sunday Ditch, and his men want to level that at 12 apiece today. On the eve of the postseason, they'd love a confidence-boosting win against the hottest team in the league.
And just like that, JR calls a timeout. They come straight out of it, make 2 threes, and it's back to a 3-point game and a turnover. So that's the stuff as a coach you want to see, a response from your timeouts, especially in games like this.
Joe, you listened to John Riley in that last timeout.
I was. He spent a lot of it talking to the referees, just discussing what's happening out there. He's not too happy with them at the moment. But I just wanted to talk about David Duke Jr. for a second. Brad, I know you're a fan. I spoke to Christian Doolittle before the game, and he just loves the energy that Duke brings. He said he's a hustler. He's got high basketball IQ, and he's loving playing with him as well.
Wagstaff blocks by Cooks. It goes outside for Luala Chul. That's not his range. He was 1 of 16 from the land of plenty before that miss. And a turnover for... No, back to Xavier Cooks. And Xavier gets it done.
Sound like a broken record, Jason, but they're just going to do that all game. He is doing whatever he wants off that on ball, and drops is not working.
Well, you've got to look at the on ball's happening out above the Bunnings side, not right near halfway, as that's a great play by Suarez on the defensive end. but their on-ball is so high that you're just stretching the play. That's beautiful offense. And the M1 for save. That's nice basketball. But just going back to that on-ball with KD, it's happening so high, Brad, that you're putting the 5-man in a position. Does he want to come all the way out near half court, or does he sit? And so if you actually screen the guy on the ball, it just opens them up as Jalen Galloway throws a nice little lob to Zave, a place he knows all too well above the ring to go and finish.
So do you go under?
Well, that's all. You drop your pickup point, and maybe you say, I'm not going to meet you out there. It might mean I get screened, but at least now when I get screened, it's at the 3-point line. Because I just think right now they're so stretched, and a guy like KD with space, I keep talking about it, when you give him space to get downhill, he just does whatever he wants, like we've been watching.
With Xavier at the free throw line, can I ask you about the man who provided for him, Jalen Galloway, averaging 9 points, 3 rebounds, double figures in 4 of his last 5 games, with plenty of boards and assists as well. How have you seen his development this year, Jalen Galloway, in his sixth year as a Sydney King?
Well, he's been tremendous every time he gets on the court. You know, there's times there where, you know, the 3 ball's not dropping, but I know, Jace, you're very high on him. When he gets in the open court, he's one of the most elite athletes in our league. He's pretty much unstoppable. It's the 3-shot, but that seems to be improving as the season goes by. He's going to be a huge key to them coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I think the other part with JG, you look at their group, they've got Zave, they've got Delhi, they've got KD, they've got a lot of guys who handle the ball. Brucey comes in. He's probably getting to the point in his career where it's, how does he start to have the ball a little bit more in his hands to make plays, not necessarily for himself, because I think his offensive package is way more than just a catch and shoot, or I get the ball in the fast break and go into a dunk. Like, I just think he's got more to his game. And last year, obviously, coming off that injury-disrupted year, he's still trying to reset himself back to being full health.
Jalen Galloway, just a delay there while we checked the clock. It was all right. Perth the miss, and Sydney with a chance to build on this 8-point buffer. Xavier Cooks moving sideways. Now Elijah Pepper. Here's Hoofner. Rebound Malawatch, who puts it on the floor, accelerates. McQuatch Malawatch trying to go coast to coast.
I got very nervous there for Elijah Pepper. I thought he was going to take off.
Sunday Dench giving a look.
Well, that 3 ball is just getting worse and worse. The Sydney Kings at the moment, 6 of 13. Wildcats, 6 of 22 at 27%.
And then Davis forces another foul on Perth. Joe told us a moment ago that John really was keen to chat with the referees, no doubt pointing out the foul's called 12-7 against the Wildcats.
Well, I also put that down to the fact that there is less fouls called on Perth for the fact that there's 43 shots that they've taken, and 22 of those are from the 3-point line. And when you're taking that many shots, you're going to get less fouls. Where you look at the Sydney Kings, it's 38-13, and you've got Davis getting into the seams and causing havoc.
Davis on 14 points, Xavier Cooks 10, McQuatch Malawatch 9, Jalen Galloway 6. They had 7 men in double figures against the Hawks on Thursday night. Cooks, Davis, Galloway, Malawatch, Noy, Robertson, Suarez. They've got some Arsenal. In the ultimate compliment to Sydney, Justin Tatum joked that as he studied film in preparation for the Kings, he asked his assistants, were we this good last year? We won the championship. Were we this good? They're taking some stopping, aren't they, the Sydney Kings?
We spoke about it on Friday night. They're just playing a great brand of basketball as a team. Like, they're buying as a group, and what the coaching staff's got this group playing like. You can see, especially in person, just the way they shift in and out of players and they get up and down at their own pace. It's just like they're always in control of basketball games. And Matty, to your point too, it just feels like they've been in control of basketball games for a period of time now, because they just keep winning and keep playing the right way.
I'll ask you two a question that I've heard thrown around. Maybe a silly question. Are the Kings unbeatable?
In this league, no. Everyone's beatable on their night, but...
It's a fair question. It's a silly one, but it's...
I specialise in them. That's my area of expertise.
But to your point, I'm just going to rephrase your question. I think they are the team to beat.
I think if they play their best, they're pretty much unbeatable. And right now, a team like Southeast Melbourne Phoenix would be scary for me if I was having to play, but yeah, they're pretty good.
Joe Luara-Chul lobs that one in. And at now 52-45. Big Joe, 4-4 at the line. Kendrick Davis just steps to the side of Sunday Dech and goes bang, the exclamation mark at the end of a fantastic second quarter from Sydney. From 1 point down after the first, they build a 10-point break into the big breather. Kendrick Davis, 18 points for the game, and that is just pure class.
You just can't leave someone on an island, even if they're as good a defender as Sunday. You've got to just give him a different look and give him some space, because that's too much space for a guy like him.
Joe, you're standing beside the man with the hot hand.
I certainly am. I've got Kendrick Davis with me. Katie, you guys created some separation in that second quarter. What's working so well?
We're getting a little more stops than we did in the first quarter. And stops is what we do best, so that's what we're doing.
You're up to 18 points. What are you seeing from their defense that's enabling you to get to your spot so easily?
Nothing really. Either I'm going to make or miss the shot. I really don't see defense. So just continue to play through the system, trusting my teammates, and hopefully we can get a win.
Keep rolling. Good luck for the rest of it.
Thank you.
Battling out there here at Kudos Bank Arena. It's the Kings with the lead at the half. Stay with us. We'll be back with more after this.
Maria.
Good luck, Maria. Have you shot a ball before?
No.
Whoa. Perfect. Perfect for the competition. And we got some fun. Good luck, you guys four. Rob, who do we have here? He's going to kick us off. What's your name?
Marlon.
Marlon's going to kick us off. What are we doing? It's very easy. If they hit it, they move on. If they miss, the next person is out. So here we go. The next person gets it. There we are. All right. Go up to the free throw line. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Give us some encouragement. Come on, some really good prizes to give away. All right, let's go. Let's go, Mark. Here we go. Marcus. There we go. Start the side. Next person's up. If you get it, he's out. He's out. That's right. Next down. If you get it, next guy's out. This could take all half. All right. Wow. He's out. You're through. You signed. You're through. Oh, you're up. You get it. You can eliminate her. She's got the Davis shirt on. He's got a technique. You're over there. You're over this side. She goes to the back. You go to the back. What was that? It's a shot. What sort of style is that? It's called the shot put. He's out. He's eliminated the next person. He's still in. Let's go. Do it. Happy birthday. He's turning 10. You're on the bench. On the bench. On the bench. The wood chopper. Look at the beard. So aggressive. Let's go. She's got technique, Rob. There's no need for that music. Here we go, another one. It's Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark. Let's go, Mark. Oh, he's got technique.
You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's halftime here at Kudos Bank Arena. The Kings searching for their 10th straight win, and they lead by 10 points over the Perth Wildcats. Brad Rosen and Jace Kadee alongside me. How entertaining was that first half? It was epic out there.
Look, it was amazing. This guy was outstanding, and I just thought Perth can go into that change room, and you look at the stats, when you look at it, they've shot more shots than the Sydney Kings. You can see that. That three-pointers is where it is for me. They're just not getting themselves in the paint, and the Sydney Kings are really dominating in there by able to get 2 feet in and either scoring or kicking it out. But right now, if I'm Perth, I'm down by 10, and it's not the end of the world with the way the game's gone.
No, we saw out of that timeout, they got it back to 3, and then they just lost their way. I actually think Perth's offense is hurting them a little bit at the moment because it's just going the other way too quickly. And then for Sydney, you've left 8 free throws out there that you've missed. So for you being the Sydney King right now, you'd be very excited with where you're at. And I think JR with Perth just has to refine a few things.
Yeah, uncharacteristic from Kendrick Davis from the stripe, but he's got 18 points otherwise he's leading the way. How do the Wildcats slow him down in the second half?
Well, you just got to get the ball out of his hands. He's just been so dominant. You look the way he's coming off that on ball. He's been able to hit threes. He's getting himself into the paint if he's not shooting the three. And really, they haven't been able to answer it. I thought what Jace said earlier, where if it's one-on-one, you're just going to struggle. But if you can get that down lower, you might be able to get some more help.
Yeah, and that's for me. It's funny, you speak about Sydney, get KD out as high as possible, bring everything high. But then if you're talking about what Perth should do, no, I want to meet you lower. I want to keep you in the three-quarter court, in their quarter court, sorry, and let them play.
Kendrick Davis having a massive impact on this Sydney Kings side. 18 points, 6 of 10 from the field and 7 assists. He does it so easily as well. He doesn't look like he's out of second or third gear.
Couldn't agree more, and it does look like, we sit there and we just marvel at this guy, but he deserves it. He's just playing so well. It's no different to watching a Bryce Cotton last night. How amazing was that? These two, it is a privilege to be in the arena and watch them play with the way they're playing. They're dynamite.
There's nothing more to add to that. Just the way he plays and the level he's in right now personally, where he just feels like whatever I want, whenever I want, I can do it. So I think that's a great place, and to be able to watch it is such a thing to be able to just admire.
Exactly right. He's leading the way for the Kings. Someone else who's also having a positive impact on this game is McQuatch Malawatch. I spoke to Tim Suarez before the game, and obviously KD is the head of the snake, but it's been so good seeing the progression of this guy this season.
Just love the way he's been able to come into the game. He doesn't need the ball. He'll go hunting it. He'll crash the glass. He'll be there for the three. A little bit like the Galloway situation, where he's reliable. He's built the confidence of Coach Gorgian to give him those minutes, and it's not just substitution minutes, it's quality minutes, and he's playing really good.
Yeah, that's for me, it's a confidence. It's almost like Malawatch has realised this year, I belong in the NBL, I need to play more minutes because I deserve them. I'm not just out here to get a chance. And when you get to that as a player, it just changes the way you approach things because you feel like you belong, and it's not mistake-driven for him. So I think for him to be able to fit into his role, but also just excel, it's just a credit to him.
We'll take a look at the road to the finals. As it currently stands with the Kings in the lead here at halftime, they are top of the ladder heading into the postseason. Talk me through how you guys think this is going to play out.
Well, you can see there we've got your playing qualifier, and at the moment Melbourne will play Tasmania, and the loser of that's gone. See you later. And then you've got Southeast Melbourne. If it stays this way, Southeast Melbourne have got to play Perth. What a semi-final, what a play-in game that will be, obviously for a seeding qualifier. And then look at that semi-final. It's not going to be easy anyway, Jace.
All these games look really exciting, but the thing that you just alluded to there, Brad, Southeast still have a chance to steal second because the team behind us, Perth, have to go home and play against Adelaide. So this thing's not over and not written yet, and it just gets more exciting no matter which way it goes.
We absolutely love the business end of the season as we get into the postseason. We've got another big game on Wednesday coming up. The Tassie Jack Jumpers taking on the Illawarra Hawks. Now, Tassie, you guys were just talking about them. They're likely to take on Melbourne United to progress further into the finals, but they're undermanned. They still want to keep the momentum going. It's going to be a good one. We can't wait for that on Wednesday. Stay with us here at Kudos Bank Arena. In the meantime, we've still got a big 20 minutes of basketball to come. It's the Sydney Kings leading 55-45 over the Perth Wildcats. We'll be back after this.
Your passion, leadership, and lifelong dedication have have strengthened our league and our sport immeasurably. On behalf of the National Basketball League, thank you for your outstanding service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating Lowrider Claw. Congratulations. Check-in. Sometimes we have great people, it can be Kings fans, it can be people who don't come to the basketball often. I'm not sure if they've come before. When was the last time you saw a game of basketball?
When Andrew Gaze was captain.
Oh my God.
Andrew Gaze was captain.
You're prehistoric.
I don't say that, Rob. Who you got over there? What's your name, sorry? How do you get your name?
Anna, that's Danielle.
Danielle.
Were you guys aware that the camera was on you?
No.
Did you know what was going on?
No.
I think there was a lot of gossip going between the two of you. You didn't know what was happening, and suddenly you've ended up in the great Amy seats.
Good looking, and who you got up there? Give me a shout out. Who are you here with?
We've got my husband Bill and Dean and Vivian, my other kids.
Oh, the husband Bill's up there. Happy Valentine's, she's all the way down here. Enjoy your Valentine weekend. They're loving with the drinks and food and everything. You lap it up. Hope you come to another Kings game. Bring your whole family. And it could be anybody getting upgraded. Thanks to Amy. You guys got lucky. Thanks to Amy.
That was good, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, today's stats are proudly brought to you by Remara. Investments out to perform, that's Remara. The Sydney Kings would like to thank RWS Global, who deliver our fans an epic game day experience. RWS Global is the world leader in delivering groundbreaking live experiences.
The biggest lead of the game is the current one. 10 points, the Kings lead the Perth Wildcats. There is Joe Lawal-Achul, who alongside Dante Russo-Nance is joint lead scorer for the Wildcats. But at 2 of 7, and Brad, this vision might suggest that JLA is a little frustrated at the treatment from Tim Suarez.
Yeah, I just watched them there and I just saw some things between them during the half, and they've had some words and looking at each other. But this is something that Tim Suarez, look, you look at the hook, the pushing, they've had chats, you look at it here, right here, and JLA is not happy with him at all. But that is what Suarez loves to do. Gets under the face of someone, and we'll just watch that in the second half.
One of the questions coming in was going to be, can JLA expose Sydney's lack of height in the eyes of some? Well, the answer so far is no. The Kings out by double figures. Despite struggling at the charity stripe, Kendrick Davis has 18 points, 7 assists. And Matthew Dellavedova, despite having a season-high 9 times he's had 7 assists, is yet to have an assist in the first half, Jace.
Yeah, I don't think that stat will stay there for too much longer because Delhi will find his way to one. But I think it's a sign of how well Sydney's playing. They've just got so many different ways they can go offensively, and Delhi's allowed to pick his moments. But going back to your point, I think the thing about about Perth, missing Windler and Henschel really hurts them because they've found that groove with both of those guys, and they play a part to their offense, especially from the three-point line.
There's Jalen Galloway firing with a miss to start the third quarter. Without Windler and Henschel, they lose 20 points and 10 rebounds per game combined, Jace.
And that's a big part, and that's why games like this, it can cost you not having those, and they're just going to have to find different ways here to get good looks like that one, even though he misses it. But get good looks like that to keep it ticking over, and once again, O boards play a massive part in this game, as do fast breaks by the Sydney Kings.
Elijah Pepper, nice O board and points, and then at the other end, fast break. And it's a finish for Makwach Malawach, who becomes the 3rd King into double figures. Doolittle for Lual Achul Jr. And this time he might feel a little better after forcing the foul on Suarez.
Well, both possessions here have gone through Doolittle. The first one is he brought the ball up. Good decision was made. Missed the 3. Sorry, just watching JLA there, but good decision was made where they missed the 3 but were able to get an offensive rebound. And that one there, he set the screen and then got it straight into JLA. Good 2 sets coming out of halftime.
Now that's the 3rd personal on Tim Suarez. So how do the Kings navigate that situation over the next few minutes? Looks like Tim will stay out there. Dante Russo-Nance with 3 for the Wildcats, also on the floor. And both the free throws miss, so it's a case of Hungry Jack Burgers. Click on the Hungry Jacks banner on the NBL app, enter the code word Hooper. Head to Hungry Jacks before 6 o'clock tomorrow at any participating store and tell them Joe Luala-Chul sent you.
I'll remember that. I might even get that clip so I can show them that we were there, hey, Brad?
I'd love to be working in Hungry Jacks and someone said, hey, JLA sent me.
I reckon they'd know. Here's the tray of cheeseburgers. It's not really a tray, it's only one. 57-47. Kendrick Davis trying to bamboozle Perth like he did in the first half. Well, that is perplexing to everyone because that was nothing but Sydney Harbour air, Brad.
Well, I don't mind that when you've got JLA who switched on him, but he sagged off a little bit. And speaking of Hungry Jacks, and Damien Keogh next to him. See the owner of Hungry Jacks there, Damien Keogh, former Boomer, former Sydney Kings captain. Great man.
Former Hungry Jacks gold card owner.
Probably still has one by the looks of it.
There's Doolittle getting to the rim. John really urging his side on right in front of us. Perth seem to be locked into a top 4 finish, probably 4th placed finish. But they want everything they can get against the Sydney Kings, and Jalen Galloway will make it tough to get. He goes to 9 points for the game. Shot clock rolls inside 10. Here's Doolittle, guarded by Malawach. Mid-range jumper misses for Doolittle. And Malawach is all over the boards. Now Christian will be called for the foul.
Well, he's getting good looks, Doolittle. You can't really ask for any better look than that. Took Malawach off the bounce, got to 2 feet in the paint, got a good look and just missed. But it's a good look and a good tape that you want him to continue to do so if Perth are going to win this game.
With Malawach too, I'd like to see him get some more catches inside the 3 and be able to play off that elbow area, just in a space where he can... Oh my, Ted.
KD thought about going to Malawach. Instead, he fed Cooks. Along the way, that was a 2nd personal for Christian Doolittle.
But just that lower catch where he can now play from a bit inside the 3 and get to that off 1 dribble rather than 3, I think that's a space where he lives. Same as KD in the mid-range, he thrives in that space.
Tough shot misses from Luala-Chul Jr. Doolittle spots Pepper on the move, working baseline. Can't get the shot over the top of Suarez. And they're off and running. Malawach draws the foul. That'll be number 3 on Doolittle. So food for thought here for John Riley.
Well, this is a scary couple of minutes here. They're obviously 13 points down, 2 free throws. And they look a little bit frustrated out there. The Wildcats. Duke Jr. will come in. There's the foul trouble there, Matty, you were just talking about.
The other thing JR's got to think about right now is how they don't lose track of this game, because it's just slowly creeping out. And it's one of those things where you sit with the Sydney team and the way they've been playing, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and they'll just get out and run on you, and it'll get to 25 before you know it.
Doolittle has struggled to break the shackles against Sydney this season. He had a tolerable 14 points in the Kings' mind in round 5, and then 5 points last time they met on 2 of 10 from the field. We've seen how destructive he can be offensively back half of the season, but he's yet to do it against the Kings. Over the top of Torrey Craig, that's better. Must have heard us talking about him. Davis through Galloway, Craig, extra pass, Suarez, beautiful basketball from the Sydney Kings. Calm heads, cool hands, big finish. That's why they're going to be top of the league, says Brian Goorjian.
Well, you look at this, the passing is beautiful. Tim Suarez, he's a 4. He is beautiful. Floor spacing 5, who opens driving lanes. He punishes the coverage and knocks down the 3. He's been doing it all season. The Sydney Kings out by 16.
Big lead now, early in the third quarter. John Murilli addressing the team.
Davis, we're in face. We're in face. You take Torrey Craig, all right? We're red. We need to get a red, but we're face, trying not to get it now. Smart. Back cut. Be smart in the back cut, okay? Just make it tough for him. Hey, offensively, right here. Let's go out double, but in the middle of the floor, Joe, get his man as high up as possible, and then you just clean. Okay, here we go.
They've had a bit of success out of timeouts in this game. Perth, they need that to happen here at 67-51. We've praised their defensive ability to keep teams inside the triple-figure mark. Well, right now, the Kings are on target again for 100-plus points, something they've done in each of their last 6 outings. Averaging 112 in their last 6, the Kings. And the 6 games of 100 points plus is their longest streak in that regard since 2002. Puts it in perspective, doesn't it? As Duke Jr. almost loses the ball. Pepper catches the rim. And Torrey Craig the rebound. 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and Craig lays it in.
Not a bad fast break when you got Jalen Galloway and then Torrey Craig trailing.
I'll leave the athletic guy and throw it to the athletic guy.
Wow. David Duke Jr. having a rough shooting night. Joe, what was Brian Goorjian's mood like in that last timeout?
He'll be very happy with the Kings at the moment. It's all about their defense and pace, getting stops and running the floor. He wants everyone finding bodies on the glass as well. He said, this is the moment to put our foot down and make sure we finish this off and don't let them back in it.
That magic mark up again for Kendrick Davis, 20 points for a 9th game in a row.
Yeah, that's to go with 10 assists as well, Matt.
So another double-double for Kendrick Davis. That's his 4th DD of the season. The ability to go through the gears, Brad, for the Sydney Kings. Just when you think they're in 3rd or 4th, you think, well, maybe we're watching him in 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, we've also got to put here, this is the beauty for the Sydney Kings, that everyone's healthy, where he is now preparing himself for playoffs. Everything they're doing is thinking about, let's get this guy going, let's get that guy going. And that's where I do feel for Perth a little bit today. You take out 2 very key players. And Henschel's been playing really well for him as Quatnoy. Misses that 3, but it just hurts Perth, Jace, because you just can't get that flow that you want to get leading into big games.
And this is a game that you'd want to have your full crew just to see, like you want to measure yourself. And whilst this is still happening, without those 2 guys, like they're both playing 20 to 35 a night. as we're going to see a challenge here from Byron Gorgian. But you just want to play these games at this stage of the season with your full group so you know in 2-3 weeks' time exactly where you sit and exactly what you've got to work on.
Windler averaging 13.5 points, 7 rebounds per game. Ben Henschel, 9 points, 3 boards per game. There's that stat. When Dylan Windler gets to 18, Perth don't get beat.
Well, he's like their conduit. Whatever Perth needs, Dylan Windler gives them, whether it's rebounding, whether it's running the lanes, whether it's hitting the open three. And here's the challenge here. To me, that would be successful. I can't see. No, yeah, he hasn't got. Oh, just on the arm there, but I don't think so. I think they'll get that.
Gorgeous video guy. 1 for him today. I'm pumped for him.
Except now he knows, uh-oh, he can look at me again because we're still 1. But you reckon there's that little bit, hope we lose just so he doesn't have to look at me.
As I've said before, I do not want to do his job.
Worth revisiting the Mitsubishi Motors live ladder. Coming into the game, it was Adelaide in top spot, but Sydney control their own destiny. Win today, beat Brisbane as expected on Friday. They will finish with the regular season championship and have home court advantage through the postseason. So straight into a 3-game, if required, semi-final series with 2 in Sydney, and then 3 of the 5 grand final games, if they get there and if they're needed, are in Sydney.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you look at that, I think Sydney have Brisbane next week.
Friday night.
Yeah, and that's their final game. And then you've got Adelaide, who have got to go to Perth, and South East play Melbourne. So there's some big games next weekend.
Yeah, the throwdown on Thursday, South East Melbourne against United, who were beaten earlier today by the Illawarra Hawks, bouncing back from their heavy loss to the Kings to shock Melbourne in Melbourne. So you're right, Brad. A throwdown on Thursday, Sydney at Brisbane on Friday. You've got Perth in Adelaide on Friday as well. And that's Timmy Suarez. Perth are actually at home against Adelaide. It's RAC Arena on Friday. Just to correct that. Joe Luala-Chul, turn and shoot nicely.
Well, this is a 19-6 run by the Sydney Kings coming out at half-time. Exactly what Perth did not want.
And that's the JLA Suarez battle we were talking about. They've just been niggling at each other and niggling at each other, and I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to get a little bit heated, especially as this scoreline starts to push out.
So 21 the difference. So they headed for a third 20-plus point victory against the Wildcats this season. The series sweep beckoning Quatnoy. His shot rims away, but Quat will keep blazing away. Make no mistake of that. None of 2 from outside. Doolittle. It's a big 3 that finds the bottom of the net. He leads Perth with 13 on 5 of 10 from the field. Torrey Craig stalking the defense and then losing the ball.
Good defense from the veteran there, just get his hands in.
Doolittle to the line for 2. He'll look for his 14th and 15th points. Can they finish with a spurt here to breathe some life into the 4th quarter, Perth? They look a little weary after the game on Friday and the trip across the country to Sydney.
Just watching Wagstaff here, he looked straight over the bench after that last play and said, take me out. Come off looking a little bit groggy. He's just walked to the end of the bench there, so hopefully all is okay with Jesse.
Doolittle makes both. Margin back to 16. Torrey Craig will inbound the ball. Torrey's return since returning to the NBL, 12 points, 26, 14, 13, 13 and 8. So super consistent with that high in his second game of his stint at the Kings against Adelaide, if memory serves me. And then a turnover from Davis. Hoofner. Getting good court time this afternoon. Pepper misses. His shot short. Another rebound for Craig.
You can see Perth here, the change-up they've done is now they're just face guarding KD. There's no help. They're playing 4-on-4 essentially and saying we're not going to let him touch the ball.
Quite Noy off the left hand, but over the top of the cup. Dead short. Points drying up for both teams.
Well, I do like the change-up, Jason, exactly what they need. But you just got to shoot the ball better. Right now, it's 7 of 29 from the three-point line at 24%. And that's where they've just struggled tonight.
The last few possessions offensively, I feel like they've just been a little bit rush shots. And that's too easy. You've got to guard him with 5 guys. But their offense, it's just, they're struggling to find points at times. And so it's like they're just going to the first shot they see rather than is it the right shot to take right now. And where has the ball been?
Doolittle. Oh. Wow. 2 count. It was a shot after he heard the whistle, more in hope, but it lands. And
well, we look at the replay here. Look at the speed here. Just gets through that small gap and lays it up. 22 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and only 1 turnover in 25 minutes. And there just continues to be that debate. Is it him or is it Bryce, Jace? Is it who is the MVP? And I think after last night, I know Coach Wells has come out and said debate over. I think I'm sitting in his corner as well. Bryce has been tremendous this year, and take nothing away from KD, but yeah, to me, I think Bryce Cotton is our MVP.
I started thinking about on the way home back from Wollongong how the votes come in at the end of the season. Are we at a stage where maybe it's a discussion? Do we have votes throughout the season like it used to be? Because if there's a recency bias, then you'd say KD might actually win it. But if you go on the whole season, you say, well, Bryce has been pretty good since the start of the year.
And there's Davis saying, I hope there is some recency bias. If there is, remember this, 3 more. And that's a long time to think about it, driving back from Wollongong, Jace.
A long time. Just me and myself.
Especially him. God, driving Miss Daisy, this bloke, mate. He took 4 hours to get home.
Stuck at the Engadine Lights. He solved it 4 times.
Couldn't find a Hungry Jack's on my way home. That was my problem.
I can tell you every one. Sunday Detch at one end, and now Xavier Cooks just fighting for control at the other. So Tyler Robertson onto the floor for his first significant minutes of the game.
Yeah, he did come on a little bit earlier, didn't he? And it was just very quick in and out. But again, another guy that Brian mentioned in the post-game press conference, where he's just confident, can put him in the game, knows he'll knock the shots down when he's open and he's ready. As I mentioned earlier, had his equal career high on Friday night.
And this is a lineup here that I'm interested in seeing, where they go with Zave at the 5 and Torrey at the 4. Just Torrey coming in gives them some availability to move and slide people up, and just different looks. Second challenge, and the pressure's back on the video guy.
He was quick. He looked at Gorge straight away and said yes. God,
he's feeling confident after the earlier success. Pushed all the chips back in. Gorge, I'll double down, he says. But Brian Gorgian did make a point, Brad, back to the media conference after the Hawks win, saying there's a lot more still to come from Sydney. Yes, from Kendrick Davis, who seems to be in rare elite form, but the coach said, no, he'll be better because the people around him will be better, namely Torrey Craig, as he continues to adjust and assimilate.
And just looking at that, it didn't look like Kendrick has touched that, so I think they'll be successful there. Just looking at his right hand here, Kendrick. Oh, does that finger touch it? But yeah, the thing that stood out to me in that press conference is the Torrey Craig comment. Mentioned that earlier, just that Gorge just feels like the team hasn't learned to play with him just yet to get him the ball when he needs it. And that's scary if you're in opposition.
It's a great thing for them to have. And I think the luxury with Torrey is he's not actually here for his. He's here for everyone else, and I'll figure it out in amongst that. But as a coach, and you've got a weapon like Torrey, you want to be able to just at times say, let's run this and get him a look, or let him create something. And I think that's the positive for their group. They're still trying to find that, and they're humming.
Yeah. And when asked how he will treat or deal with the quick turnaround Friday to Sunday, he said, There was a suggestion they have a walkthrough. He said no, get together as a team, no, watch some film, no, let's just stay home and rest, get ready for the Wildcats. That's a confident veteran coach who says, no, boys, just get ready for the game on your own terms. Red wine around the pool? Yes.
I saw you asked him that question, mate.
Dante Russo-Nance off the glass for 2. Brian Goorjian hoping to add to his 42 NBL Grand Final games. What a number. Wow. Played in 5 Grand Final series, winning 3 at the Kings. With 5 Grand Final series at the Kings, winning 3 of them, all up 42 Grand Final games. What a number. Dellavedova's runner off the mark, and that will lead us to the end of the shot clock with 4 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Doolittle to Detch. Has to be a quick shot, and it is, and it catches the rim. So we go to 3-quarter time. The Kings still in control. It's a 15-point margin. They're looking for another 100-point haul and another big scalp as they aim for 10 straight wins and top of the table once more. Back with the final quarter right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to win it, you've got to strike a pose, just like our dancers. Look at this. I've got Lebanese back. I can't do this. They're very creative. Every single week they come up with something new. But you know what? Let's start it off. Who wants to win it? Strike a pose. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Take the Harvey Norman and Cannon. Who do we have? It's an awesome try. Get creative. Oh, we've seen that one before. I like it. Wow, well, been down here with the dance crew. Is there that on there? I'm not sure. That's those guys. Oh, is there a child in the air that's dangerous? He moved. Oh, I like that. Okay, Brock, 50th person to Brian. Over again. That's dangerous. Bring this ball down. Grab the camera. Thank you, Terry. Half of it. Oh, well done. You're our winner, mate. Do some arm drills now. Thanks to Harvey Norman and Cannon. All right, dance crew, you can take a break now.
Well, the Kings are in control at 3-quarter time, leading 79-64, and it's not good reading if you're Perth either. In their 2 games against the Kings this season, they've struggled in the 4th, 32-16 in favour of Sydney in their last one, and 20-6 before that. So the Wildcats guys will be looking to rectify that down the stretch here.
Absolutely, they will, Joe, and I'll get to Brad in a moment because, as you've alluded us to in the break, Brad, Perth need to be a little careful of their ladder position, but let's watch the first few possessions here from the Kings. And this man, Kendrick Davis, is he intent on exploding to 30 points plus today? There's Makwatch Malawatch, who has now 15 for the game, to go with 4 rebounds as well. Perth, their first possession after having John Rillie in their ears at 3-quarter time. What do we see? Hufner for Elijah Pepper. Trying to get away from Tyler Robertson. He can't. They turn it over. Delhi off and running into the front court. And McQuatch Malawatch, all the time in the world to go to 18. The lead blows out to 20. Brad, why do Perth need to have a good look at themselves?
Well, you look at the ladder at the moment. If the live ladder was shown, it'd be 20 and 12 that the Perth Wildcats are now. Melbourne lost today makes them 19 and 13. Now, if Perth lose this by a lot, and then they've got Adelaide next week, and if Adelaide was to win that, they can be tied with Melbourne, both on 20 and 13. Now, depending on points for, and Perth certainly have a better percentage at the moment, they could end up coming fifth, and then they got a home final playing against Melbourne. So, against Tasmania. This is an important quarter for Perth.
Well, Kendrick Davis has just delivered his sixth 3-ball of the night. It's out to a 20-plus point margin at 23. Perth need to be really careful. The Kings 87, the Wildcats 64. An animated Brian Goorjian willing his team onto the finish line. How intent are they to have foot on throat mentality and really make life difficult and the scoreline ugly for the Wildcats? The next 8 minutes and 50 seconds will tell us, but what an explosion out of three-quarter time we've just seen. Kendrick Davis up to 28 points. Super impressive. It's just a given these days. The man who has a season and career high of 40 points against Tasmania in round 18, not beyond the realms. Super aggressive out of three-quarter time. The Kings, there's the live ladder. They're sitting top of the pops.
Yeah, and that's my point there. You can see the percentage there in Perth, 105, Melbourne 104. Now, it is a bit of a gap, but if this keeps climbing and then Melbourne are able to beat Southeast next week in that throwdown, big challenge for everyone, but then Perth are at home against Adelaide. The last thing you want to do is lose that second bite of the cherry, being in fourth, going to fifth.
Joe Healy, over to you.
I think Gorge has been listening in to you guys on the commentary. He wants this percentage to be hammered home. He said, no let up here, guys. This is us versus them, and we want to dominate this game.
Speaking like the 26th season NBL coach he is, just to underline my numbers from earlier on, 6-time championship winning coach, 6-time coach of the year, and yes, those 42 grand final games across the many series he's played in. What a man to have at the helm. The Sydney Kings in pole position for another championship. Dellavedova, fade away, leaks short, but the foul will be called on the Wildcats.
The challenge for every coach is to make sure your team is firing at the right time of the year. And that's something you give credit to John really as well, because this team have come in here at 9-1, down troops today. We look at Southeast Melbourne, they're humming. The Sydney Kings, Adelaide up and down, but they're still sitting first. Well, could be second today, but still doing what you just want your team humming at the right time.
Dellavedova, how did he get the offensive rebound? The littlest man in the mix, in the middle of three Wildcats, jumps up with the ball.
And boys, we've done a lot of the Sydney games this season, and especially this last half of the year. I feel like we're just watching deja vu as Duke Jr. makes a nice basket, but just seems like Sydney get to position in games and they just go bang, 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 and then they're out by 9 or 10 and it just blows out from there. They've done a great job of just kind of playing their same game and then just finding those moments to stretch the lead.
Well, Brad, you've held the assistant coach clipboard in a championship-winning campaign. What does it say about a team that, as Jason just articulated, spots the advantage and then takes it with the foot on the throat mentality?
Well, I just remember that Gorge has not changed the language in his whole coaching career. No let up. That's it. It's just never no let up, whether it be on the defensive end, on the glass, on the rebounding, on the effort. Like, every guy that is stepping on this court wouldn't dare not give 100%, because that man won't let anyone go anything but 100%.
Before the Illawarra win, I asked him as a coach in this situation on their 8-game winning streak, what's key? And he said guarding against complacency. The Kings came out and hit their first 10 shots. Obviously the coach's message is landing because there was no complacency. They were brilliant to start against Illawarra and then went on with the job and have doubled down tonight. Harlem Globetrotters, the 100-year tour will happen mid-year. Get your ticket, scan that QR code and join the fun, the festivities that is Globetrotters v Generals.
Told you the other night, they're going to win the Washington Generals. They're due for a win. They're a chance this year, I reckon, Jason.
Do we know something? Do you know something we don't know? And they've picked some guys that are playing on the floor right now to play in that game. Because then I'm with you. Is Kendrick playing for the Generals?
Tyler Robertson was looking for Cooks. Turned it over. Favour given back to them straight away. Cooks, uncomfortable range.
Torrey Craig is still down. This is a bit scary here. He went down. Looked like he may have grabbed it. His right leg there. We'll just have a look. Just see them go down here. Or might have got that knee on knee there. Seems to be all right now, though. That's the last thing they want.
He's had his quietest game since returning to the NBL. Tory, just a couple of points on 1 of 2 shooting. 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Russo Nance advancing the ball for Perth. Pull-up jumper. It's good from Dante.
He's had a nice game tonight.
Yeah, 12 points.
Probably the most efficient game I've seen him have. Just take the right shots, doing the right things, playing hard. And teams are just going to have to figure out with KD how they guard him with the group. You just can't expect one guy to do the job. I know JR did say Doolittle, and maybe once they forget the final series of those guys, we'll see more of it. But it's got to be a collective buy-in because he just does so much.
Kendrick Davis to 30. No, I was about to say 32 points for the game. He misses his easiest shot of the night and he's left on 30.
We just worked out a way to stop him.
Start talking about it early. Well, I was starting to think he scores that. He's on 32. After last night, does he try and have a 40-piece himself and say, the conversation is open?
What, you think he watched that, do you?
Oh, I would guess he might have. Or if not, someone might have sent it to him.
30 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists.
Well, I think the coaching staff know as well, because I'm saying with 5 minutes 55 left, when you are up the way they're up, you take your starting point guard and MVP of this team off. Maybe they know we can get a 40-piece here.
What really should be happening is Bogue should let him know you've got 5 rebounds. Boys, start tapping him a few. Let's get him to a triple-double.
Only 1 triple-double this season. Congratulations, Will Hickey.
Yeah, we were there that game. Very good.
So Davis double-teamed, and his outlet is Torrey Craig. Got a full-court pressure here from Perth. Under the pump momentarily. And Davis goes long for Sean Bruce. Jalen Galloway, his shot short. So Galloway left camped on 9 points, 3 of 9 shooting. How much appetite does Sydney have to create a party atmosphere? Joe Luala-Chul extends that long frame to drop 2. Just slowed offensively the last couple of possessions, Sydney. Suarez, and the foul from Wagstaff. Clear foul. All over the Brazilian.
Well, that will be the end of tonight for Kendrick Davis. They gave him a couple of extra possessions, but that is it. He will sit now with 30 points from 11 of 17 from the field. And he's 32 minutes to go with his 5 rebounds and 10 assists. Great game.
Suarez, that's short. Noy thought he had the rebound. It's off Wagstaff, and the Kings keep the ball. So 20 the difference as Kendrick Davis leaves the floor. What happens from here? Do the Kings make it a 20-plus point margin, or is it shrunk And as the final score flatter, Perth. Sean Bruce hasn't scored in his last 5 games. Kwatnoi says we're going out by more than 20.
Well, he hasn't had a great shooting night for someone like of his calibre, so he's going to get up a few, I reckon, in the next 4.5 minutes, as there's Doolittle, who's had a solid game as well. Up to 19 points, 7 of 13 from the field to go with 8 rebounds. He's tried everything he can tonight.
Doolittle headed towards his 8th double-double, perhaps. Suarez, a fumble, a fight for the ball, but it will go Perth's way.
Brad, if you're JR and Perth, as we see the Amy replay first here, and this is, you spoke about party atmospheres, and Quat loves to make this place a party atmosphere. But Brad, if you're Perth here going into next week, if there's a bit of an injury cloud over Henshaw and Windler, they've missed tonight, they haven't even travelled. Do you suit them up next week against Adelaide, or do you say we've pretty much got locked in 4th spot?
What I can't remember, and I might be wrong here, I think the Melbourne game is before the Adelaide-Perth game.
It is.
And I'm saying that after that game, I'm telling those 2 players, if you're right, you're playing. But if that differential you know is going to be okay, then no, I sit them to answer that question. But I don't want to be 5th. I do not want to play Tasmania.
Melbourne v Southeast Melbourne precedes Perth hosting Adelaide.
So it's on the same night, which
no,
oh,
a couple of nights earlier.
Okay, well then, yeah, that's with, oh, nice from that man, yeah. To answer your question, Jace, I wait for that game. If they're healthy, obviously. If they're not, the decision's made for you.
But if you're healthy, don't you want to get out there and play well on the eve of the postseason?
But that's I think where Jason's coming from, I assume, is that fine line of health. Like, if it's a final and you're needed, I can get through it, but geez, another couple of days off would be better.
So there's still a question mark health-wise.
Yeah.
Because the other part too is that game for Adelaide could be a massive game, because if they win, they stay top 2. If they lose, they can finish 3rd. And then they also have to travel and play the Ignite Cup final on the Sunday. Yeah. So that's still a big weekend for them.
Step back, Jalen Galloway. Shot short. Rebound for Doolittle.
Doesn't look good.
It's Russo Nance there has come off, and I'm not sure if it's a cramp or he's rolled his ankle, but he's gone straight to the floor. You'll just see him at the top of the screen there underneath the backboard.
Yes, Melbourne, Southeast Melbourne, Thursday night, sorry. Yeah, and then we go right forward until Friday night, Perth, Adelaide. So Thursday night, Melbourne, Southeast Melbourne. Friday night, Perth, Adelaide. Latmayan shooting over the top of Sean Bruce, and foul will be called on Kwatnoi off the ball. You can have your say on who's going to finish where. Scan that QR code. Have all the fun you want for the ladder in terms of the ladder predictor. But set aside some time. It's addictive. You can say, I'll just spend 10 minutes doing this, and 3 hours later you're still entering permutations.
Fortunately for those playing, the ladder's getting a bit easier to predict.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, you could have made that thing look all different ways, where
1,000 jigsaw pieces, wasn't it?
It's starting to all kind of add up, which makes for an exciting week as we head into finals.
The Mitsubishi Motors ladder predictor. NBL.com.au. You'll find it there. Have some fun with it. Jalen Galloway finding Suarez baseline. Hook shot too heavy.
I think this is another period too for Duke Jr. Find some shots and just find a balance from just playing in game, because he's obviously been out for a period. He spoke about it earlier, Brad, just him finding a rhythm. And tonight he hasn't shot the ball great, but I think he is someone who gives him a point of difference as we get down to these finals games.
Well, that's Jesse's 5th foul. Just one of those guys that just works every single game. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 points. the heart and soul of this club.
Jesse fouls out for the first time this season. Suarez on 11 points. Neat does it. To go with 4 defensive rebounds and an assist. Yeah, David Duke Jr., it's a good point, Chase. Second game back from that long layoff because of an elbow injury. Hadn't played since late December before returning against Brisbane on Friday and hasn't found his shot really yet. They need him firing come the postseason. She's loved it. Delta Goodrum sitting in the Pump by Reebok influencer seats. Hubby there in the King singlet. He's tall enough to be a baller, let me tell you. He'd give Suarez or Doolittle a run for his money in terms of height.
Guessing he'd beat him in music, though.
Absolutely he would. (98-81). The Kings one made bucket away from triple figures again. A little running milestone. Those at the club are watching. Suarez! What a way to raise the bats. The century is up in brutal fashion. And the Kings go to 100 for a 7th game in a row.
He pointed directly at the bench, and I might have just guessed that was at JLA. And geez, that'll make it interesting if they play again in the finals.
The game had just fallen a little flat. The result was known. They were edging towards the finish line until Suarez woke us all up.
Well, there he is. You look at here. Finishes, throws it down with the big double hands. And then as we saw live, he just pointed at him and just said, take that, JLA. And wouldn't you be replaying that all week if you get to play them again?
Off the fingertips of Duke Jr. And the replay centre will be asked to adjudicate whose possession this is. Our Morteen magic moment presented by Morteen. More smart, more safe. Morteen right on half-time. This man went to 18 points with one of his 6 made threes. It was a Morteen magic moment. There are many of them from Kendrick Davis at the moment.
Yes, you could find a few of Morteen magic moments the way KD's been playing lately, but that is definitely one because there's very few who can fill it up like that to finish a half.
No flies on him.
Brilliant, Matty. Brilliant.
Some would say corny. David Duke Jr.
More than some.
Blattman couldn't get a shot away. Here's Elijah Pepper, and we'll go the Kings' way. So an offensive foul called on Mayen off the ball. So remember when they took KD off the court, it was 20 the difference. Currently we're at 19. And Luethawan, he's provided some energy off the bench, and Gok Maliwal likewise. The development players, they haven't let the Kings down. In fact, they've given them some real energy.
Yeah, Billy Tomlinson's really high on this guy, Gok. Just recently signed with the Sydney Comets to play against Jason Kadee in the off-season in the NBL1, but yeah, they're very high on him.
Gok Maliwal playing his 8th NBL game. Here's Torrey Craig, flying like Suarez. Gok Maliwal, his 8th NBL appearance. Luethawan, his 12th. Elijah Pepper picks up the loose ball and casually drops 3.
Well, even if you're Perth, we spoke about, you want to keep just shrinking this lead, just to sew up 4th spot. Obviously, it becomes a crucial position, but you just don't want to let this get away from you in this last couple of minutes.
Noah Kuakawaga out there also for Perth. Joe, you got a crowd figure for us.
Yeah, guys, you mentioned off the top of the broadcast it feels as though the playoffs have come early. Well, there are 13,613 in the house. The atmosphere is absolutely pumping, and the Kings fans are loving this result right now.
Absolutely they are. A few of them might head across the road for the second most popular attraction today at Sydney Olympic Park. G'day, Ed Sheeran. Elijah Pepper. Sean Bruce looking for Lueth Awan, but the reach of Mayan shut that down. Hoofner, Kuakawaga. Duke Jr. gives it up for Hoofner. He misses, and there'll be barely a second left. The Sydney Kings are a perfect 10. 10 straight victories as they go back to the table, beating Perth by 18. They sweep the Wildcats, and they have one game to navigate before the regular season championship is theirs.
Super impressive. Feels like we say it every game that we call these guys, just the way they're playing. It's just workmanlike. People filing after each other as we got some action here in the in the handshake line. But yeah, Sydney really impressive, and now they march their way to top spot.
Yeah, workmanlike, wasn't it? And take nothing away from Perth, the fact that we know they were down on numbers, but Sydney still had to come out today and get that done. And that man today, well, he was great.
Kendrick Davis is our Footlocker player of the game. Hardly a surprise at the moment, isn't it? It seems a given at tip-off that he's going to finish with that award. 30 points, 10 assists. He sat for the back end of that final quarter. But there was plenty of support as per usual. McQuatch, Maliwatch, Tim Suarez, Xavier Cooks, Jalen Galloway. It's a good team at the moment, the Sydney Kings. They're the hottest in the league. They're the team to beat for the title. And their huddle is happy with a 102-84 victory. We'll break and come back to Kudos Bank Arena to wrap up the final game in the second last round of the regular season.
Which would be finals, so it's a big prize. Thanks to Romara. Player of the game, vote now.
Sydney fans, how you feeling after that one? They're back, stacking up W's going into the pointy end of the season. And I'm here with this guy. We call him a forte, it means a strong. And tonight you sure were, Timmy. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for everybody for coming out tonight.
Man, it doesn't matter what part of the season it is, but when Perth comes to town and we go over there, it just gets a little bit chippy.
No, you guys' energy was great tonight. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Tim. Hey, one thing, man, before, you were here before, now you're here this time, you're back with us. How does this team feel and the energy and the vibe feel in comparison?
No, we're heading in the right direction. We're going to keep working, and the season's not over, so we're excited for what's to come.
I love it, man. One last thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I know how Timmy's going to answer this one. Do you want to see everybody back here for our first home playoff game or what?
I hope everybody comes. We can fill the arena. Let's go, Kings.
Let's go. You heard the man. Get after it, Sydney fans. Thank you, Timmy. We'll see you on the next one. Let's get after it.
Yeah, Timmy.
Our guy right here. Look at this. We got Lions. We got we got Rob. We got Tahir.
Hey, applause for team, ladies and gentlemen. What a champion.
Make sure you scan the QR code, you put in, you register your interest for playoff basketball, because if I know
The Sydney Kings finished their regular season at home with an 11-4 record. Here's Tim Suarez and Joe Luala-Chu. A little bit of afters. They had a running battle. Suarez sunk a big bucket in the fourth quarter, pointed to JLA, and the Perth big man didn't forget that as the teams crossed paths for their post-game handshake. Your thoughts on that exchange? More of it, I say, as we head towards finals basketball.
Well, it just shows what's on the line here.
Yep.
Both teams feel it, both players feel it, and they're just getting after each other. And so whenever someone gets that and carries on near the end, JLA's a competitor, but nothing in it. Bit of fire, all good for the game.
Passion. That's all it is. It means a lot to him. Delhi just says, leave it alone. But, hey, that's what it means like. The last thing you want, though, is something to happen.
JLA
could cause problems.
Don't mock me a moment ago and then want to shake my hand. Let's have a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, because Kings fans, take a look at that. You'd lost top spot to Adelaide briefly, but you're back on top at 23-9. One game for the Kings to navigate. That's Friday at Brisbane. Perth set their sights for a big last matchup, hosting Adelaide.
Yeah, look, you look firstly with the Kings, it'd have to fall over for them not to make the top two. When you look at that points percentage, then you look at the Wildcats, a must-win game for them next week too.
Well done, Sydney Kings. 10 in a row, 102-84. Matt Russell on behalf of Jace Kadee, Brad Rose and Joe Hill in the hard-working team. We look forward to your company on Wednesday night. Goodbye from Sydney.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.